Hey, good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Welcome back from spring break. Hope you guys are doing really well today. Hope you had a fantastic spring break. Today is Tuesday, April the 6th. I got a leadership lesson for you. Kind of going to set the stage for you for some things that are going to happen this week and in the weeks that are coming as we work to start the fourth quarter and look towards closing out a successful school year. Let me give you some announcements to get going this morning. I am going to spend just a couple of moments calling some birthdays, scholars that are celebrating birthdays this week. I want to talk to you about the fact that the fourth quarter officially begins today. We've got some spring pictures on campus this Thursday. I'll give you some information about that. And we got a celebration. Kona Ice is going to be here on Friday. So let's talk about birthdays first. These scholars are celebrating birthdays this week. We'll say happy birthday to both Austin and Brian James. Their birthday was yesterday on Monday. Kamai Watson also had a birthday yesterday, and Riley Adler. So congratulations and happy birthday to those scholars. Mustafan Raymond, 7th grader's got a birthday today. Omar Martinez Vasquez also has a birthday this week. He is on Wednesday along with Miss Jalea Johnson. Happy birthday. Desiree Hill and William Bolton have a birthday on the 9th. Happy birthday to Maddie Slate. She has a birthday on the 11th, and so does Ureli Delgado Martinez. So happy birthday to those scholars. All right, guys, so the first day of the fourth quarter is today. This is the final quarter of the school year, so I want to be sure that you are pumped up and ready for a great day, a great week, and a fantastic fourth quarter. This Thursday, we're going to have spring pictures. These pictures will be offered to all scholars, both face-to-face and remote. So if you're a remote scholar, your parent's going to get some information in this week's email about how to sign up to have your picture taken here on campus. You are encouraged to wear spring colors and spring attire on Thursday. Those would be like your blues and your greens and your pinks and your purples, but try to wear some solid colors that'll look good in that picture, and that is the picture that is going to our yearbook. So I'm looking forward to having all of our scholars have their picture made on Thursday. And then this Friday, we normally have like a Scholar Dollar store at the end of the quarter. Our PTA has determined that this quarter, your opportunity to use your Scholar Dollars is going to come in the form of Kona Ice. So for 50 Scholar Dollars that you would have earned all throughout this school year, you could purchase a Kona Ice, and grade levels will have an opportunity to go outside on Friday afternoon to get their Kona Ice and to enjoy that. All right, well, let's jump into this week's leadership lesson. All year long, we've had this theme that is on the screen. It's about finding the superhero within. Superheroes show up whenever there's challenges. They understand how to overcome obstacles. They look within to find their own power and focus, and that's what we've been asking each one of you guys to do. Obviously, we've had plenty of challenges this school year, but we're doing a great job of reopening schools, staying focused, and looking to close out this school year successfully. In January, we shifted our theme away from looking at comic book heroes. We started looking at some American heroes, and I introduced you to a variety of individuals that have impacted our culture, our society in a positive way, and these are individuals that I thought to be very inspirational. We spent a lot of time talking about individuals that either were leaders or teachers at the Tuskegee Institute and the impact that they have. I gave you a little lesson about how to be a runner and how to build self-discipline. I talked about Gladys Knight. We had the Battle of Iwo Jima soldiers that were inspirational towards others. So I have another individual that I'm going to share with you today, but I want to start with this image, and I have entitled this week's lesson, There is Always a Part B. All right? There's always a Part B. So take a look at this meme. This is a dad telling his kids, hey guys, if you finish the toilet paper, just put a new one on the holder. And there's the kid's response, checkmate, Dad. So in this particular task, did the kid complete the task? Well, I guess maybe, but they really didn't do it the correct way, right? They just took the toilet paper roll and sat it on the holder. And how many of us have been guilty of that? Like we kind of completed the task, but well, not really, Dad. Did I really complete it fully the way you would have wanted me to? So, and just to be sure we're all on the same page, this is the way that a toilet paper roll should be placed on the holder. All right, if you're confused, beards are cool. Toilet paper coming down from the front, that's cool. Mullets, not so cool, all right? So you got to be sure you put the toilet paper on the correct way, okay? I want to be sure you understand that. Here's some things that I have to share with you today about why Part B is important. It says that leaders understand that any task or any challenge is worth completing requires carrying it out the correct way. Leaving out Part B demonstrates a lack of focus and a lack of determination to complete any task with excellence. And that's what we're all about here. Our Leader's Creed says the standard is excellence today and tomorrow. So we're going to talk about Part B a little bit. I want to be sure that all of us have an opportunity to learn from a leader today. And many of you may know his name, but may not know a lot about him. So I'm going to introduce someone to you. This gentleman's name is Elgin Baylor. And Elgin Baylor, I think, is an American hero. He's obviously an NBA legend, but let me tell you a little bit about him. He was born way back in 1934 in our nation's capital in Washington, D.C. His mom and his dad were both employed. They were hard workers. But Elgin, although he was a pretty tall young man, he didn't even start playing basketball until he was 14. Now, a lot of you guys play ball. You've probably been playing ball since you were 4 or 5 or whatever. But to think about, this guy only started playing basketball when he was about your age. All right? Elgin struggled in school, and it's one of the reasons that I really like to use him as an example. He had a hard time reading at an early age. He had a hard time with mathematics, so he actually dropped out of high school and went to work. He was like, just this whole school thing is too tough. I'm not going to make it. He was struggling. He started working in a furniture factory, and he was just playing like pickup games. He was playing like the Salvation Army League, and he was doing like local competition. However, he had some mentors and some individuals that helped him get back into school and complete his high school diploma. So he did receive his high school degree. In a single game in his high school senior year, he scored 63 points against a crosstown rival. Now, 63, man, that is a bunch of points. And you can see anybody that could score that number of points in a high school game has got to be pretty talented. And talented indeed he was. So talented that he was actually able to get a college scholarship and attend a university known as Seattle University. I'll talk about that one here in just a moment. But a little bit more about his high school career. People called him the Rabbit. They called him the Rabbit, man, because he was incredibly quick and he was difficult to catch. Like, nobody could guard him. He was 6'5". He could jump out of the gym. And if you've ever tried to catch a rabbit, they're just impossible, man. They're all over the place and then they jump over the fence. And anyway, he was called the Rabbit. That nickname stuck with him. He set scoring records at his high school. Even after he graduated, he didn't have the grades to actually get into college, so he had a friend, a family member, that helped him get academically eligible so he could attend college, and he ended up getting a college scholarship at Seattle University, and he played there. During his time there, he averaged over 30 points and 20 rebounds per game, which is amazing. Find a college kid that's done that recently. And so he was so incredibly talented that in 1958, Elgin Baylor was selected as the #1 pick by the Minneapolis Lakers. Now, if you've never heard of the Minneapolis Lakers, today they are called the L.A. or Los Angeles Lakers. You know, LeBron plays out there. But if you've ever been to Los Angeles, they really don't have many lakes. But Minneapolis does. That's where the organization was birthed. And so they later selected Elgin Baylor in 1958 and then moved to L.A. So the majority of his career was played with the Los Angeles Lakers. So his first year there, in the 58 and 59 season, he was named Rookie of the Year. He went on to be an 11-time NBA All-Star, an All-Star MVP. He was inducted to the Basketball Hall of Fame in 1976. He was basically unguardable. And in 1962, this dude averaged 38 points a game. So, I mean, even James Harden isn't averaging that. Kevin Durant isn't averaging that and didn't even before his injury. Nobody in the NBA is averaging 38 points a game. So this guy's an absolute superstar. Remember, this is Part A of Elgin Baylor's career. I want to talk to you about Part B. So in 1962, this is a phenomenal year for him. He scores 71 points in Madison Square Garden. That's against the New York Knicks. Actually, a couple of years ago, we took our 8th graders to Madison Square Garden to watch the Knicks play. Had a chance to see them play against the Detroit Pistons. I think, there might have been a guy that had like 19 that game. This dude in Madison Square Garden put up 71 points. That's a record that has never been broken. Nobody's ever scored more than that in Madison Square Garden. Something really interesting about him also. Take a look at this picture up here. This is Elgin And Elgin was interested in service. We've talked some about service. So he actually signed up to be a member of the United States Army Reserves. So the reserves are like a group of men and women who go and conduct training maybe once or 2 times a month, and then they're available to be called up if our nation needs them. So they might have to go respond to like a humanitarian crisis, or maybe if there's a hurricane, they get called up to go provide some response. But he was a member of the U.S. Army Reserves, and in 1962, he actually got called to active duty. So think about this. This guy's playing in the NBA, but he can only play on weekends because Monday through Friday, he's actively serving in the United States military. So he didn't get to play a ton of games in the 1962 season, only on a weekend pass. That's normally like when people get to go home and go see their families. He went to go play ball games for the LA Lakers. He still managed to score 1,800 points that season, and he set a playoff record. They are playing in the finals against the Boston Celtics, and he dropped 61 points in a finals game. No player has ever broken that record. So he was an amazing NBA player. Elgin Baylor, the Rabbit. It is said that he is the individual who changed the game of basketball. His career was shortened because he had some knee problems, and so he retired from the Lakers, and number 22, his jersey, hangs in the rafters. No LA Laker will ever wear that jersey again. Just like Kobe's number 8 and number 24 retired, number 22, Elgin Baylor's jersey, has also been retired. His college, Seattle University, named the entire basketball complex after him. So if you ever get a chance to go to Seattle University, you can walk into the Elgin Baylor Basketball Center. So there's his career, right? No. See, there's always a part B. Leaders understand that it's not just about starting a task, it's about completing it, and completing it with excellence. Let me tell you a little bit about Elgin Baylor's part B. Remember this kid who couldn't read and write? Remember this kid who struggled in mathematics? Well, he developed his skills and he developed his abilities over a period of time to the point that he actually works his way up through the LA Clippers organization, and he becomes the general manager of the LA Clippers for 22 years. Now think about that. When you think about a general manager, this is somebody that's a really effective communicator. This is somebody who can read and write at a high level. This is somebody who can negotiate deals. This is somebody who understands finance and budget. This guy was super intelligent, but he struggled early on academically. That's why I love this part B component of Elgin Baylor's life. And not only was he just the general manager, I mean, he was so incredibly successful and effective that he was named the NBA Executive of the Year in 2006. He's got a great quote here. I love this quote from Elgin Baylor because he was a hard worker. He says, "Every time you compete, try harder to improve on your last performance. Give nothing short of your absolute best effort." So think about it, man. He was scoring points. He was scoring an NBA All-Star, but he was saying the next time out there, I'm going to try to get better. I'm going to try to improve. I understand that it's not about just right now. It's about part B. It's about completing the task. It's about being successful as we move forward. So just about a couple of weeks ago, we said goodbye to Elgin. He actually passed away at the age of 86, lived a great life, was very successful, has a great family. And this is what the LA Clippers said. They said, "We mourn the loss of Elgin Baylor, a transcendent player, a beloved teammate, a pioneering executive. Baylor was a Los Angeles basketball institution, first as a superstar for the Lakers, then as the general manager for the Clippers, leading the team's front office for 22 years. We extend our deepest condolences to the Baylor family." Elgin Baylor, NBA superstar, and I think American hero. Great guy who lived a great life, part A and part B. Let's think about how this affects us or why this is important. You know, we've done a very good job from staff, scholars, and parents of getting our school reopened. It's been a long year, guys. Remember way back in August, we had that 3 weeks of like just work on campus while we get prepared to teach lessons, and then you came into a new live schedule, and then we've now reopened school, and we've got scholars that are both here face-to-face and remote. We've done a good job with that, but that's been part A, to get the school open. As we start this final quarter, we need a great deal of focus. And there's going to be a lot of hard work that's necessary if we're going to successfully complete this year. So I'm calling on every scholar. I'm calling on every staff member. I'm calling on every parent. I'm committing to work hard and focus to have a successful end to this year. This is part B. It says this quarter will require all of us to focus and maximize the time we have remaining. So starting today, there are 9 weeks left in the school year. And the last like 3 weeks are all about testing. So we've only got about 6 weeks of instruction. There's a lot of really important things that have to happen in the next 6 weeks. So I need you here every single day if you're a face-to-face scholar. I need you dialed into live instruction every single day if you're a remote scholar. I need you making sure you're completing your assignments, that you're doing your part to make sure that you have a successful end of the school year. You might have heard a term recently. It's been circulating around. It's called learning loss. And learning loss is what a lot of our researchers are telling us is happening as a result of school closure, as a result of COVID, as a result of kids not being actively engaged in learning. And so learning loss is a real thing. I need you to be ready to go to your next grade level. 8th grade scholars, look at me. I need you to be ready for high school. And your high school principals and teachers need you to be ready. My 5th grade kids, I need you ready to go to 6th grade, 6th to 7th, and 7th to 8th. So we can't allow this idea of learning loss to hold kids back. I don't want to see a bunch of kids having to go to summer school. I don't want to see a bunch of kids not being able to move forward to their next grade. So the next 6 weeks, this is our part B. All right? I need you focused. I need you ready. Everybody has to be prepared to put forth their absolute best effort to ensure that we have a successful close to the school year. All right? Hey guys, appreciate everybody's competition and work towards making sure your house points are in good order. This is the week prior to break, so I want to show you the point totals for this week of competition. Check it out, man. Nike House coming through with a victory in that particular week. Dynamis has slipped to fourth place. Sabio in third, and Hegemon with a very close second. So congratulations to those houses. 2 things before I let you go. First, we always tie things back to the creed, okay? So I'm thinking about Elgin Baylor's life. I'm thinking about part B, and I love this part. It says, as a scholar at AJ Prep, I choose to be a leader. The standard is excellence today and tomorrow. Part A and part B. That's the standard for excellence today and tomorrow. So be sure you're disciplined, focused, respectful, organized, on time, all that other great stuff as you pursue excellence. All right? Hey, I'm going to invite you to stand today. We're going to pay honor to our country through the Pledge of Allegiance. This is something that I think it's appropriate for us to do each and every day. This unifies us and lets us understand that we, as citizens of this great nation, have a responsibility to make sure that we are doing our absolute best to provide justice for all. So I invite you to stand, and I will lead us in the pledge today. As a reminder, if you choose not to stand, that's on you. Just do not be disruptive, but I do encourage you to stand. I think it's a great civic activity that you could participate in. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all. Scholars, I hope you have a fantastic day. Staff, thank you for getting prepared for Part B. It's going to be a great week. You guys take good care, be leaders in all that you do.